A top 10 showdown in Gainesville. SEC on CBS Game of the Week. A battle of unbeatens. Number 10 Florida hosting number 7 Auburn. Bo Nix coming off the best game of his young career. 335 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyle Trask has thrown multiple touchdown passes in back-to-back games. He's been excellent since coming on in relief of Felipe Franks. Second play of the Gators' first drive to Freddie Swain, 64 yards, touchdown, making it look easy.
Yeah, that's Dan Mullen just putting together a great scheme, putting a wide receiver on a linebacker and making Auburn pay.
Mismatch. Gators up 7-0. Late first quarter, Dameon Pierce coughs up the football, and Auburn recovers. A little bit of a sloppy game this became.
Yeah, especially early on. It was almost just a turnover battle in that first half.
Ensuing Tigers possession, Jatarvius Whitlow stuffed, no gain. Tigers would be forced to kick another field goal after a turnover, down 7-6. Early second, Trask over the middle to Josh Hammond, 13 yards and a touchdown. Gators take a 14-6 lead.
Once again, look at that. I mean, that's a wide receiver on a linebacker. Florida did such a good job of just letting their wide receivers catch the ball and go make a play.
Bo Nix and Auburn respond to Seth Williams' 32-yard touchdown. It's a 1-point game.
Yeah, that wouldn't be the last we would see of Seth Williams, and really just that. I mean, that's the guy that Auburn needs to get the ball in the hands of down the field. He's a big-bodied receiver, a tough matchup for defenders.
Ensuing Gators drive, concerning play here. Kyle Trask incomplete, but takes a huge hit to his left knee. Hit as he throws, goes down immediately, leave the game to get evaluated. And at that point, okay, he's walking off under his own power, but still you're thinking, hey, that could be pretty bad.
No doubt, and you come to find out it's an MCL strain. I'm telling you, as someone that's had an MCL strain, that is a difficult injury to deal with when you're moving side to side.
He returns end of the first half, and he returned in the third quarter. We move on to the late third quarter. Nix to Williams, extends, makes the catch inside the 15-yard line. First time they've been in the red zone all game, and then they make a mistake.
And you know what? You see that throw earlier to Williams just outside of his reach to where he had to dive. If he throws it, it hits him in stride. This interception never happens, and Auburn's got a touchdown.
Gus Malzahn, golly gee Willikers, what are we doing? Fourth quarter, LaMichael Pirine sheds a tackler at the line of scrimmage, tiptoes down the sideline, and he is gone. 88 yards for the score.
Yeah, when you lean on that defense and you stress it enough, I don't care how good that defensive front is, if you have big-time playmakers that can get to the perimeter, it's a dangerous game to just keep on putting your defense out there without scoring.
Just over 2:30 to play, and here's the dagger. Nix intercepted by Marco Wilson, third of the game. 12th interception by the Florida defense that leads the nation. How about Todd Grantham's defense, huh?
You know, Auburn's defense was the story. And then we get in the game, and it's the Florida defense that really steals the show.
Indeed. 10 straight wins when forcing 2+ turnovers. They get 4 in this game. Final score 24-13. Last time Florida beat Auburn was 2002. Now they get a win in 2019. Florida, winners of 10 straight overall, third longest active streak, and Florida plus 2.5 here. The under cashes at 48 to hook. The under now 5-0 in Florida's last 5 home games. 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. I mean, that is some nuance right there. After the game, Jamie Erdahl speaking with the Gators head coach Dan Mullen.
It was loud at times. It wasn't really pretty, but how did you get the job done on this one?
Well, certainly our fans, all the people here in the swamp, did an unbelievable job. The atmosphere, this is why you come here. This is what the swamp's supposed to be like. This is what it's like to be a Florida Gator. A lot of adversity, turned the ball over a little too much, but we kept making plays, straining, playing hard. Guys on defense did an unbelievable job.
You've got some pretty tough quarterbacks here. What is there to say about Kyle Trask and the way he came back in and led this offense?
You know what? I mean, he got banged up, got hit, came back in, continued to lead, continued to make plays, continued to battle, and offensively found a way just to do just enough to win.
Well, I'm going to go talk to him. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
Kyle, how's that knee feeling?
It feels great.
Coach told us at halftime you were playing on a sprained Coach told us at half you were playing on a sprained MCL. Is that true?
Yeah.
How does it feel?
Feels good right now. Tonight, probably not so good.
You came here after one Division I offer for football, and you just won Florida's homecoming game. Did you ever think you'd be in this moment?
No, to be honest, I mean, this is like a dream come true right now. I'm just trying to do my best just to take it all in, man. You know, I'm so proud of our team, just offense, defense, special teams, everybody balled out, and I just can't be more proud of this team right now.
Thanks, Kyle. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Pretty awesome for Kyle Trask. I mean, Dan Mullen comes to him in the offseason, hey, if you need help transferring, I'll help you out. And he says, no, I'm staying. And then he gets the opportunity after Felipe Frank suffers, unfortunately, a season-ending injury, steps in, and what has he done? Well, since he has taken over, they've outscored their opponents 115 to 16. That's absolutely impressive. Florida earning its 10th straight win, longest active streak among SEC teams. Again, this Florida defense was all over Bo Nix. Committed 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions. They lead the nation with 12 INTs. And Florida plus 2.5. Hope you had the Gators on this day. We now welcome in Gary Danielson, who was just on the call for Florida and Auburn, here with Barton Simmons. Gary, and one of the big storylines in this game was this Florida defense really disrupting Bo Nix. What did you see from your vantage point?
You know, we talk about matchups all the time when we do these football games, and the matchup really, I thought, even though they don't play against each other, was the 2 defensive lines. And there's no way Florida could win the game unless the defensive line for Florida stepped up, and boy, did they step up in this football game.
Indeed, they did. 12 interceptions, most in the nation right now. And Kyle Trask, what does it say about him to come back in this game after what we thought may be a severe injury? He comes back, helps lead them to a victory.
I'm really not surprised. You know, all of us that have played, you know, you wait 4 years for an opportunity. You don't start in high school football, and now you got a chance to play. If that thing isn't broken or torn and you can't do anything more harm to it, you're coming back in the football game. So give them all the credit in the world. It became a passing game, and Kyle was up to task, to pardon the pun.
Gary, next week, obviously a big one awaiting this Florida team with LSU on the horizon. I'm not so sure Florida really looked like a top 10 team before this game. Certainly looked like they had some top 10 qualities today. What's your impression of Florida moving forward, and maybe a little preview of that matchup against LSU?
Yeah, Barton, I think they're going to continue to have to score points, though. LSU's putting points up. They might be, you know, putting up more points than anybody in the SEC in a long time. So I think they got to cut out the mistakes, though. Boy, they're just making too many mistakes, fumbles in this football game, penalties. So we'll see. But it's a tough place to play, especially at night in Death Valley there.
So conversely there for Auburn, obviously this was maybe the first time all year where they really haven't been able to dictate things, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Where does this team go from here, and how flawed is this team based on what you saw tonight?
Well, you know, their defense is going to keep them in a lot of football games, but they're going to have to find more help for the quarterback. You know, I came into this football game thinking with the Florida team not able to run, how could they help Kyle Trask? Well, Kyle is a 4-year quarterback that's used to taking snaps, practicing, throwing the football, and with his receiving core, he felt comfortable. Bo Nix is not ready to carry a football team with just a passing attack. If Auburn doesn't find some help in the running game, I think looking at their schedule and who they have to play, it might be tough for them.
Gary, what's the biggest takeaway from the game you just called there?
At Florida, everybody who did not think that they could play with Auburn is alive. They could still lose a football game and play in that Georgia game and play for the SEC East. This is going to get real interesting in the East because you know Florida loves to play against Georgia, and that Georgia-Florida game in Jacksonville will be huge.
Indeed it will, and on the horizon next week, Florida visiting LSU in another battle of unbeatens. Gary Danielson joining us here post-game on CBS Sports HQ. Gary, thank you very much. Appreciate the conversation.
My pleasure.